Hello friends, today I am talking about the general overview of climate change and its impacts. As part of introduction, I will tell you that the biosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrological cycle are major parts of the climatic system. They influence each other, but overall, natural processes are well maintained, and in that way, it reflects the uniqueness of nature. Weather conditions over a long period, or at least 30 to 40 years of data, decide about climate of an area. It can be variable even with region to region of the same country having different geographical conditions. By now, it is well studied that the Earth's temperature has changed significantly since last 200 years. This is especially after the start of industrialization and with increasing use of fossil fuels to drive economic growth and development. The changing conditions of temperature on the globe and the enhanced greenhouse effect are being scientifically studied all over the world. Many countries have started independent research centers about climate change. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) is an intergovernmental body of the United Nations and is working in the field of climate change studies. United Nations organization is playing an important role to combat climate change with an ideal set of guidelines and practices. Let us check what are the reasons for climate change. It has scientifically reported that average temperature of our Earth has increased by 0.5 to 1 degree Celsius for the last 200 years. Different scientific groups have variable opinions and figures about the actual temperature changes, but most of them are on the same side to claim about the reality of climate change. A variety of anthropogenic activities, industrial emissions and many other indirect pollutants, along with the enhanced greenhouse effect, are increasing the severity of the changes that we are facing nowadays. Global warming due to enhanced greenhouse effect is responsible for climate change, while at the same time the carbon sinks are decreasing due to rapid rate of deforestation. The gases that are responsible for global warming are carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons, methane, nitrous oxide and water vapors. In addition, atmospheric aerosols are also responsible for microclimatic changes. The pre-industrialization concentration of carbon dioxide was about 270 ppm, but nowadays it has increased beyond 370 ppm and is on rising day by day. Some international agencies point even more concentration of carbon dioxide nowadays. The increased population of the globe and their needs for physical comfort, changing lifestyle Urbanization, heavy industrialization, associated emissions, and modern agricultural practices have contributed significantly as part of human induced climate change. There are also major and natural contributing factors for climate change. Fluctuations in solar output and variations in Earth's orbit contribute a lot, in addition to volcanic eruptions, unusual changes in oceanic currents, and continental drift act as driving agents for climate change. Now let us check what are the major impacts due to climate change. Many ecosystems are at risk with extreme floods, droughts, sea level rise, decrease in agricultural productivity with increased frequency and intensity of cyclones. Climate change will also lead to loss of lives, damage to natural and artificial structures, loss of forest resources and biodiversity habitats, the spread of newer diseases, huge economic losses, and increased issues of food security throughout the world. Polar regions may experience more warming as compared to other regions of the world. This will cause melting of the glaciers and ultimately sea level rise. Global patterns of the wind and oceanic currents will disturb due to enhanced temperatures and developments of high-low pressure belts. The changes in climate may also cause unexpected cooling effects in a few regions of the world, making adverse life situations for people and other living organisms. Many regions of the world may experience extreme conditions of weather with rapid spells of wet and dry conditions. Millions of people are under threat due to climate change. High temperatures will also lead to more evaporation from well-grown crops and may result in decreased crop yield in many parts of the world. It is observed that frequency and intensity of such adverse events will increase in coming years, with more problematic conditions for the people living in developing countries like India and many other poor countries. As per report by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA), the USA, the year 2018 was the fourth hottest year ever recorded. Record-breaking higher temperatures have also been reported in various regions of the world by reputed international scientific agencies for the last few years. It should be noted that the temperature changes would not be uniform throughout the earth and the impacts would be variable. Now check what are the measurements used to check climate change. There is a number of disciplines and techniques which study past climate. Microfossils of the preserved environments, underwater coral and shell deposits, tree rings, deep ice sheets core data from polar regions, past geologic records, and fossils from sedimentary records can prove to be very effective in the detection of changes in past climate. Carbon dating techniques are most advanced for the measurement of past climate and carbon dioxide concentrations. In conclusion, I will say, no doubt, tackling climate change is one of the most priority areas, and all government and corporate agencies, they should come ahead to solve increasing problems faced by various countries. It has changed in the past slowly, but changing nowadays faster than the natural rate, and will change in future too. It is very difficult to point out a single factor for climate change, and it is difficult to say that a particular situation at the regional level is only due to climate change. The climate change phenomenon is very complex, but on the other hand, we cannot ignore the fact that human-induced climate change is reality. Careful planning, policy changes, and strict implementation of the agreed tasks with international standards are much necessary to face this global issue. Every country should decide their priority areas about development while helping hand from the developed world with the technology transfer could prove to be ideal as part of collective efforts. Thank you very much.